Tutorial we're going to learn how to send emails in Laravel. So sending emails in Laravel is pretty easy, unlike the other languages where you have to write a number of codes. Laravel already provides you with the built-in templates for emails. You can also create your own custom ones, but I'm going to keep it simple and just show you how to use the Laravel built-in emails. Obviously we can tweak things around and make changes in the CSS and HTML as well, so you'll see all of that. Okay. So if you have been following my previous video series, you would know that we had created this project with all the graphs. We had created option to create post and all, update and view the blocks. Okay, so what I want to do is basically I want to go ahead and send an email to someone for now. Okay, at the time when the post is created, let's say there's an admin and we want to let him know that the post is created, or probably it's the user, whom you want to send the email to, that his post has been published or something like that. Yep, the point is we want to send email, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, great. So just go onto my site. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically we'll go ahead and create the I'll create an email file. Okay guys, so we're going to create a welcome.php email file. How do you do that? All we have to do is just run this command, php artisan make mail welcome is the name of the welcome.php file, and then this flag is double dash markdown is equal to emails.welcome. So I'll tell you what this does. So let's go ahead and run this out. This is my project and I'm using the Valley. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of the Git repository, just ignore this part a bit. Okay, I'll make this code available on GitHub, so I'll leave the link down in the description box so you can copy it. Okay, great. So I'll paste this. So you can see mail created successfully. So what has happened? Let's check it out. So you can see there is a directory, so just ignore this underline. It's some error with the PHP storm that I'm trying to fix. Ignore that. Okay, so if you come over here in the mail directory, you can see that there is a file that's created called welcome.php. Okay, this is created by that command. Okay, so when we typed make mail welcome, this name is responsible for this welcome.php. If you would have put a different name, then that name of the file would have been created over here. And this markdown emails.welcome means that it will create a view file called welcome.blade.php inside of the email directory. So this is the directory name where it will create the view file to write the code for the the email, the HTML markup basically, and the name of the file will be welcome.blade.php. Let's check it out if it has already done that. So let's have a look. It's views, emails, and right on. So we've got email.blade.php. So we've got our markdown over here. So you're using the Blade templating engine components, and inside of this, this means heading. So when you put hash and introduction, this is the heading basically. And then there goes the body of the message. So whatever message you want to type, you'll put it over here, and then you'll go ahead and put the component for button and all. So all that stuff going on. This is thanks and component. So this start of the component, this is end of the component, this is another component inside of it, which is a button component. What you also need to do, guys, is to test that this functionality is working. You just need to go to probably mail trap. In the live scenario you will probably use your own probably SMTP server or something, but for now, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to show the mail trap for you. Okay, so let's have a look. So I'll go to mail trap. And just create an account if you don't already have one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, so this is my inbox, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go to my settings. So let's see, where do I get settings? Yep, here are my settings. Okay, So all you have to do is just go to the .env file where we have all the database setting, and we also have the mailbox setting over here. So if you notice that Laravel already provides you with these settings out of the box. So you can see smtp smtp.mailtrap.io. So if you notice over here, this is the same address over here as well, smtp mailtrap.io. Okay, just for testing purposes for under development environment. And then there says the mail port. So we'll leave the mail driver to SMTP. We'll leave the mail host to what it is. We don't change that in this scenario. And in case if you're using it for your own email server, then you'll change that. Okay. Then it says port. So it's 2525 already. So we'll leave that. Then it says mail username. So what do we have as username? This is my username. I'm going to copy this, paste it over here. And then I need my password. So this is my password. I'll just come over here and paste it. And then that's it. I think I don't need to do anything else. All right. You also have those information over here as well. So do you need to do anything else? Let me see. Nope, we don't need to do anything else. Great. Okay, so you've got that. So all the mail that we're going to send will come over here inside of my demo inbox over here. Okay, great. So coming back to what we're discussing. Okay, so so you've got this. Now what we want to do is basically download all the markdown HTML and CSS and layout. So we're going to do this by running this next set of command, which is this. Just paste it and say PHP artisan vendor publish dash tag is equal to Laravel mail. So you can see copy directory this to this, which means from this directory of Laravel it's copied to resources views vendor mail. Let's check it out. Resources views vendor mail. Let's close the NV. Resources views vendor. Here's the vendor and then mail. You can see we have the HTML, we have the entire markdown, we have the button, we have the footer, we have the header. So all of the stuff going on. We have the theme, default.css. If you want to change the CSS of the email that's being displayed, you will come over here and change it. Okay, and then you have the promotion and all, button and all that stuff going on there. Okay, so you need to download this vendor directory in order for you to successfully create a structure and markdown for your email. These are just components, and these are being loaded from the vendor directory. Okay, great. So this will download the markdown, HTML, CSS, and layout files into views, so-and-so directory. You can modify the structure of the email template and also change the CSS from views, vendor mail themes, default.css. This is exactly what I explained. Okay, so coming back. Okay, what next? So now we need to go ahead and write some codes inside of my welcome.php, which is the mail file which has been created by the command that we ran. The first thing we're going to do is basically include a user into it. So we'll say public user. The next thing we want to do is basically also include the message. So public message. This is the message we want to pass to my mail from my controller. Okay, and then we'll say inside of this construct function. So do we have a construct function? We don't. We'll create one. Oh, we do have already. That's fine. So all we have to do is just say this user is equal to user and this message is equal to message. So this user is equal to user and this message is equal to message. Obviously we need to pass that information over here. It's not available, so you can see that it's available inside of this function. Okay, so you need to call the model user over here by just typing user and just hit enter, and you'll see that will be included over here. If it isn't, then you need to write it as apps/user over here, and then it'll provide me with the user variable which will contain the user current user. Okay, and then after that we will go ahead and pass the second parameter as well, which is message. put the comma there. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we'll run inside of the build function, we'll go ahead and run this function, return this. I think this should have already been there. Let me see. Yeah, it's already there. Return this markdown, and then we can also pass the inside of the with the markdown we can also, okay, yeah, right, so we can do this and then view instead of markdown, and then also pass the message, just compact, and then we're gonna pass that user. Okay, and then you want to trigger this message when a post is created. So we'll go to our controller. In the previous video I've explained how to go ahead and create posts. So we'll go to post controller.php, and there we are creating the post. So you can see that this is where we're creating the post, so this is the place where we can send the email as well. Okay, so we'll come over here and we'll set the message basically first. So whatever message we want to pass over here, we can pass that. So we'll create a variable called message, and we can just say post successfully created in the email, or whatever you want to pass over here, you can pass that as well. And then just use this function mail and to. So I'll just copy this. Okay, so this is not being included. I'll just type mail. Okay. Mail, app mail, yes. To, I think there's something missing. It should be eliminate mail, I think. Or just keep it to mail the way it was. Let's not change that. Okay. And then we're passing the users. We don't have user over here, so we need to have user as well. Okay. So for this, obviously, we need to create some authentication. Currently, we don't have any authentication on this particular project, so we'll create an authentication also. Let's just comment this out for now. And to authenticate, guys, I'll just tell you. So for making the authentication, it's very simple, guys. We'll use the Laravel built-in authentication. Obviously, there are ways you can create your own one as well, but for now, I'll just tell you the built-in. So all you have to do is just run PHP artisan make auth, hit enter, and you can see authentication scaffolding generated successfully, right? So if you come over here onto our project, refresh the page. At this moment, we don't have the authentication. It's because obviously we don't have the views for them right now. We just need to include that. So if you notice inside of your views file, there is the auth already created, right? And then if you come onto the HTTP controllers, you can see there is the auth directory where you have all the controllers for login and all that stuff going on over here. So let's just create a route for that. So we have login.blade.php, so I'm just gonna go ahead and create a link for that. In fact, first we'll create a link for register.blade.php, right? So we'll go to our web.php. Come over here, just copy this. In fact, let's just copy this one. Okay, notice one thing. Don't copy all this. Notice one thing, that is already created a route. You can see auth and then route. So let's see what routes are available for login and register, right? So I'll say PHP artisan route list. So we're going to use these routes which are already created rather than creating our own ones. So you can see if that for register, we'll look for register first. So for register, it goes to show registration form and it goes to register controller, right? So all we have to do is just create okay, so this already goes to that. Okay, so all we have to do is just go ahead and make sure we create a link that goes to this particular URL, which is home URL / register, and automatically call this function and load the respective view for that, right? Let's see what's going on inside of this show registration form. Okay, so we'll search for this. So you can see it's loading up the auth.register, which means inside of the auth directory, it's loading up the register view, this view right here. So basically what we want to do is just go ahead and create a link that directs the user to this particular URL, because the controller is already created by running the command that we ran, php artisan make auth. All of these this controller is register controller, login controller, forgot password controller, I think home controller as well also being created. I think home controller might have already been there. That's fine. So basically login, forgot password, reset password, register, all of these controller have been created already by running the command php artisan make auth. And since we have these controller which are already loading up the views, because the views are also created, you can see in this auth directory we have the email, reset, login, register, all of these views are already there, and those functions are already doing their job loading those views. So we don't really need to do anything. All we have to do is just provide link to these, and automatically those function will load up the views and we'll have those functionalities available, right? So let's have a look. So what we're going to do is let's close the web.php, because like I said, the route has already been defined by creating one particular route which is created by running that command that we ran. It's already creating all of these routes, so we don't need to mention a separate route, because this one line of code is already doing the job, and has created all of these routes automatically. So all we have to do now is go to our welcome.blade.php. Where is that? Let's say this one. Just create another link on top. So we already have these links going on over here. Right, so it's extending the layouts.master, so we'll go to layouts.master. Okay, here is where we have all the links, so we'll create another one. We'll create one for login, sorry, for register, and remember we need to define the path, which is this register, right? And it's a get request we want to call, not the post. Post is actually for registering, and this is to load up the registration form. So let's have a look if that does the job for us. Let's refresh the page. We have a register link in the nav menu. We click on that, and sure enough we have the registration form that's been created by the Laravel, and this view that is being loaded is nothing but the register.blade.php, and this is the view, and that's where all the code that you see right here is coming from, and that view is being loaded by the register controller, which is this, and the method show registration form. Great, so we've got the register link. All we need now is just the login link as well. Okay, so let's do that as well. So I'm gonna say over here, I'll just copy paste this link next to it, and we'll say login. Okay, and let's see where there's the login goes to. So login get request, which loads up the show login form, which loads up the login form, calls the show login form function, which is inside of the login controller. So let's see, login controller. Here's my login controller. and this is where I think inside of the login controller we need to look for show login form. So let's have a look. HTTP controllers, auth, login controller, and we need to look for show login form, this one. So you can see show login form is loading up auth.login, which means auth directory and the login.blade.php file. So we go to views auth login.blade.php. This is the file being loaded, which means, like I said, it's already doing the job. All we have to do is define a link for it. So what the link do we need to define? So home directory and the get request to login will load up my login form. Okay, so we'll go over here and just change this to login. Okay, let's go back, refresh. You can see we have a login form. It takes me to login page. Then we have the register form, takes me to register page, right? And then if I click on Laravel, it's taking me back to the home page. Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some registration. I'll just put my name there, imranhsayed at gmail.com. Password 123456 123456. Brilliant. So I'm logged in. Go over there. Go to this. I'm logged in. Brilliant. Ideally, this login function should not show if I'm logged in. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't show that. And in fact, the register one should also not show. All I should have is just logout button, right? So how do you do that? Let's have a look. So I'm going to go to let's say register.blade.php and look for those codes. In fact, I'll go to login.php. So you have remember me, you have password, you have email, you have login. Okay. All right. So I think what we need to do basically is call a method called @auth. Okay. So guys, if we go over here to this page where we already have a logout button created by Laravel. So I'm gonna just use that. Let's find out where is this button, where is this code coming from. So you can see this URL is home. So let's find out. So home, let's see, home is going to home controller and then index function. So I'm gonna find out my home controller. Let's look for home controller, home. So guys, I already know all of this, but I'm showing you how to navigate through and fix problems and find out solutions. Okay, so if you see index function is loading up home view. So let's look for home view inside of my views file. So I'll go back to resources, views, and let's look for home. Here's my home, right? So you can see you are logged in, but this is only showing content. This is extending layouts.app. So you can see how all of these things are extended, inheriting the layout. So these are quotes within quotes. So it's layouts.app. Let's look for layouts app.play, and you can see here we found it. We found the logout form, the logout button, and all of that stuff, which is actually going on over here. So I'm just going to use that. Okay, so I need to create two things basically. I need to create a logout button in case if I am logged in, I don't want to show register and login. I want to show register and login only when I'm logged out. And if I'm logged in, I want to show the logout button. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's see what logic they are using, and I'm going to use the same logic over here. So what they're doing over here is saying guest and then else. So guest method is going to ensure that in case if the user is not logged in, then go ahead and display these set of codes. That's the meaning of guest. Okay, these set of codes, these two links, basically login and register. And in case if he is logged in, then go ahead and show this logout button. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, guys. So basically going to use the add guest method. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my where do we have master We were in the master.blade. This is where we had the link, right? So just going to wrap this up into the add guest, add guest. And was it a function? No, it isn't. Okay, add else. Is that it? And add end guest also. Add end guest. So guys, I'm into my master.blade.php because remember our welcome.php, which is the view welcome.php, which is my home view, is actually extending the layout master.blade.php. And this where we have our navigation, which is this. That's why I'm writing the codes over here, just to be clear. So end guest. Okay, I think I made a mistake on the spelling. End guest. Brilliant. So if the user is not logged in, then these two links will be shown. So if I want to show that to you, that's really working. Refresh the page, and sure enough, you can see that the register and the login links are gone. Why they are gone is because the user is logged in. If he isn't logged in, then I want to show the logout form basically and the logout button. Sorry, the logout link. So let's go back and see what do we have over here. So you can see there's a logout form. It's going to the route logout. So where's the logout route? You can see this route logout, right? It's calling the logout method of the login controller, and that's actually logging the user out. If you want to see inside what's going on over here, I can show that to you, but it's going to take more time. Let me show that to you. So again, I'll go to my login controller inside of my app, HTTP controllers, auth login controller, and then I should have the, I think, logout method. Let's see, let's look for logout method. It's here. So you can see what's happening over here, just using the logout method to log out the user and redirecting the user back to home page. Cool. So that's brilliant. Let's close that, and I'm going to just copy paste this, and I'm not copying the navigation because we don't need the navigation. We already have one for ourselves. So I'm going to put that in the else method because obviously I am logged in. Refresh. Okay, looks like something is wrong. It's not showing up. What's wrong? Let's have a look. I'll get rid of this drop down menu. Show this link. Okay, there's something wrong. I'll just fix it. Oh, just one moment. So I think there's some JavaScript being applied to this. I'll get rid of this div. I don't need this, guys. And I'm going to wrap this up into the li item because we already have written styles for that. So we'll just wrap this up inside of this. Let the form be outside. I'm okay with that because that form anyways won't be displayed. Because you can see that the style display is equal to none over here. So you don't have to worry. Okay, so and let's change the class from drop item to nav link so that it gets the same styling as we have for the other links into our navigation. Let's paste it. Refresh. Sure enough, we've got a logout now, right? Let's log out. Takes me to, again, we have register login. Click on it. Go to what was the email address? im@gmail.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Enter. Brilliant. I'm logged in, but obviously it's not redirecting me over here. Ideally it should redirect me to my home page, but it's going to home. It's because of the function. So let's see, let's go ahead and make some changes. I'm going to go to login, and this is my login method. So let's see what's going on inside of the login method. I'm going to search that login method. Okay, looks like can't find it. Like, okay, I think it should be here, I guess. Foundation. Okay, let's leave that. We'll go by this only. So we're already inside of the login controller. All I have to do is look for the login method. This is my login method, and this is where all the redirection is happening. Okay, this is where the the validation is happening, right? And the too many logout, all of that stuff going on over here. Okay, so let's say has too many long attempts, attempt login, increment login attempts, and failed response. Okay, attempt login. I think this is the method responsible for the URL session regenerate, clear login, authenticate, card user, redirect, intended redirect path. So redirect path is the one we need to look for. Okay, you can see that this is where it's being redirected to home, and we don't want to do that. We want to be redirecting to our root URL. So let's try that now. We'll log out, log in again. I am at gmail.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6, enter. Okay, looks like it's again not really gone to that. Okay, so I think what we can do probably is over here just return the redirect path. So let me just take care of that. So what I'm going to do is, guys, just get rid of this because all we need is just a redirect path. Maybe we want to redirect to, so I'll just say return, and then we'll use the URL function to get me the site root URL, and this will take me to root URL. So it's going to basically return the root URL. So let's go ahead and refresh the page, click on login. Once again, I am at gmail.com. 2 3 4 5 6. Brilliant. I'm logged into my homepage because the redirect URL is been to this one. In this way, you can actually change whichever URL you want to redirect the user to. If you want to redirect to update blogs, view blogs, or whichever page you want to redirect to, you just have to put this URL. So if you want to probably redirect to posts, then just go ahead and put post over here. Like this, and I just want to show that to you because in your project probably you want to redirect the user to a different site URL, so you can do that. So I'll use that again. .com 2 3 4 5 6, and you can see that it's going to post now, right? Brilliant. We'll set that back to home URL again. Okay, brilliant. So that's how it works. So you can see that that's functioning properly. Okay, and let's go ahead and try to change the not change anything, but coming back onto the authentication bit. I think we were trying to send the emails. We'll come back on that. Let's close everything. Register redirects authentication master. Welcome. Yeah, this is the place we were trying to send the email. So we wanted the user basically, guys, because we need the user to send the email to the user. Okay, so how do we get the user? We'll just create a variable called user is equal to, in fact, let's get the user ID first. So we'll get the user ID by saying that user ID is equal to, we have an auth function, and then you'll say ID. This will get me the user ID of the current logged in user, and then we'll get the user data using user model, and then we'll say find, and we'll put the ID over here, which is this user ID that we've got, which is the current user, and this will actually get us all the data for that user. And this is the user we'll be passing over here, guys. We are passing it to our welcome.php, which is basically this. Where it's gone? Let's close this. Welcome.php, this one. Okay. So using this new welcome, send new welcome user, and then the message. So message is this, and this will be sent to the user. Okay. So let's try this out. I'm going to go ahead and create the post, and ideally the message should be sent to the user. Okay, so let's try that out. Okay, I'll say new post, content, author, category, submit. Okay, there's something wrong. No hint path defined for mail. My new project views welcome.blade.php. No hint path defined. Okay, let me have a look. So guys, the reason why we're getting this error, because over here into welcome.php, which is our email model, we have to make sure we put markdown over here and not view. Okay, so once we do that, inside of the emails.welcome.blade.php, which is this file, basically this view file, which is under emails directory, you will have access to the user variable and you will have access to the message also. Okay, so remember, we are actually passing the message from here, and then we are passing the user also here. So we have the complete user variable available, which contains all of the user data which we have in the database, which is the username, email, password, all of that stuff, ID and everything. Okay, so we can make use of these two variables into our welcome.blade.php. Okay, so we can say over here that hi, instead of saying introduction, we can say hello, and then we'll use the blade templating engine echo with these two curly braces, and inside of this, remember, we have the user variable available that we are passing from a controller file, and we'll access the name property from here since it's an object. So you've got the name, we also need the message, so we'll put the message over here. So whatever message is coming from there will be displayed inside of this. So we'll say message. Okay, so you've got that, and then I don't think we need it, but if you do want to, we can just change this to let's say our project is Laravel or whatever, and then we need to obviously put the URL over there so that it can take us to that. So just put that URL there. Okay, brilliant. And then thanks, and then config app.name. So you can change this app.name from the config file. So let's change that. Config app, and app name, we put it to Laravel. So whatever, if you change it to Laravel's, it will be shown over there. Okay, now if we try to send an email, because everything is fine now, we can just do that. So my new post, this is content, author name, Ron, category cat, submit it, and notice it will take some time to load up because it's sending email. And if you come over here, notice this is also load up, and immediately you've got an email. So you click on this, sure enough you can see hello imranhsayed. Why? Because in your view file welcome.blade.php you have mentioned hello and then the username. That's why you have the username there, and then it says post successfully created. So this is the message that you had passed from your controller file. So this was my controller file, and I had passed the message as post successfully created, and that is the message being displayed over here. And I say thanks Laravel. Okay, so again I think the app name has not been changed. There are couple more places you need to change the name to. First is the NV file, so you can see there is an app name, you change to Laravel's. Okay, and remember that you also have the app URL, so in case if you are updating on a live server, make sure you change this to your root URL as well. Okay, but for now we just leave that. Okay, so let's try sending one more email to see if this app name has been updated. Obviously this will take me to my project, which is what is happening right now. You can put that, set that link to anything, because that's the link we had put over here in the URL for this button, right? Which we just need to notice over here that the app name has been changed or not the next time we send the email. So let's try that out. Let's create a blog. This is my test blog, test or yes, whatever. author name, category, submit. Let's go to demo inbox. Okay, something wrong. Must have an instance of app user null given. Okay, where's that? Must be an instance of app user null given. On line 56. On post controller, line 56. Okay, let me have a look. So guys, this video is getting too long. So let's just change this manually to the name that we want. So let's say my app. I want to say my app is the name of my, or I will say thanks Imran over here. Okay, let's just quickly come over here, refresh the page, just type anything and try to send an email. Okay, trying to get a non-object welcome.blade.php. Okay, what is wrong over here? Okay, that error has been fixed. There was a dollar sign over there, so I fixed that error. Okay, so post been created, mail has been sent. If you click over here, come back, you can see Imran displayed over here, post successfully created. And I've just changed this. You can always change that back to whatever you want. Okay, so you guys, this is how you send email. This is how you create authentication in Laravel. You can always create your custom ones as well, but this is pretty much how it is done. Okay, so I hope you did like the video. If you did, please do subscribe to my channel, and in the next video we're gonna learn more on Laravel, probably how to create filters in Laravel. And in this passion also, you can send emails at any point. All you have to do is just go to the controller file, and wherever you want to trigger the email, you can just trigger it, and also create the email file for yourself. So make sure that you run the PHP artisan make email, name of the email file, markdown, and then vendor publication, all of that stuff, and just define all of these functions in the welcome.php file, and then go ahead and send the email. So you can create different types of so you can create different files for different emails, set of emails, because obviously they'll have different templates. So you can run this command each time you want to go ahead and create a file. Okay, all right guys, so see you in the next video then. Bye bye.